Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is to explain more about why a narcissist wants to bait you into an emotional reaction so that they can convince you that your emotional reactions to their actions are the problem, to distract you from the fact that their actions are the problem, and to distract you from how that narcissistic individual is feeling at that given moment in time. When it comes to people usually have developed object consistency in early childhood. So when there is distance or conflict or disagreements between two people, when someone is feeling normal everyday emotional feelings, they can go and talk to that other person, discuss it with that other person and help each other out. Narcissistic people tend to lack this, which is why if you're around people who can handle there being conflict between the two of you and not want to resolve this conflict, they're not the kinds of people you want to spend too much of your time around. They're not the kind of people you want to give too much information about yourself to, because those who care about you as you care about them don't want to live in that conflict. Those who care about you as you do them find it very difficult to walk away. It's very difficult walking away from narcissistic people because you care about them. So it makes it gut-wrenching and heart-wrenching having to leave them. You've built up that bond, you've built up that connection, as well as all the trauma bonding. The fact that you care means that you want to get along with them, you want to understand them, you want to help them. So it goes against every essence of who you are walking away from them, which can create that sort of push-pull of going back and forth and then questioning whether you're the narcissist or not. And if you care about other people, if you don't have at least 5 of the 9 criteria, then as a general rule, you're not the narcissistic one. Narcissistic people have a way of setting the environment, setting the stage to pass how they're feeling or how they're behaving over to you, so that when they accuse you of behaving how they're behaving, when they accuse you of feeling how they're feeling, because you're feeling or behaving in that manner, you stop and think, oh, yeah, maybe it is me then. And that shows that you're not narcissistic, because you take responsibility for your behaviour. We can all act out of character, we can all act in ways that we're not proud of. However, narcissistic people will look for somebody else to blame. Non-narcissistic people take the responsibility for their actions and do their best to make it up to the other person, which is the dynamics for a very unhealthy, toxic relationship. So here are a few gaslighting phrases which narcissistic people say. And gaslighting is where a narcissist wants to distort your reality so that it fits the narcissist narrative, so it serves the narcissist needs, so that they can accuse you of being the crazy one when you're onto them, when you're calling them out, so that they can get away with their behaviour. It's also words that are partly their projection. A narcissist projection is when, however they're feeling, they're either going to bait you into feeling that emotion so that they can accuse you of having that emotion and blame you. And because they baited you into feeling that way, you can recognise you feel that way, and you're the one that ends up questioning yourself and not the person you care about, who lacks the empathy to care about you. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about the narcissist personality disorder, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. When it comes to a narcissist, they have several criteria, such as they're preoccupied with themselves and getting their own needs met. They are extremely envious of other people. They feel entitled to have what they want whenever they want with whoever they want. They feel entitled to have whoever they want. They are very exploitative people and they lack empathy to care. So they're going to twist everything they can to get their own way. And they don't care for how this affects you. They only care for how it affects themselves. So if a narcissist is feeling jealous because they're not getting the attention they believe they're entitled to, they're going to go all out to provoke feelings of jealousy within you. Whether that is ignoring you and showering someone else within your household with attention, affection and support, whether that's flirting with somebody else, whether that's triangulation and talking about how an ex would have done something, how your sibling would do something for them, how amazing the ex was, how amazing your sibling is. They're going to go all out to chip away at you to provoke those feelings of jealousy within you. A narcissistic boss will do this with a co-worker. They will shower a co-worker with praise for a job that perhaps you did. They might even give them a bonus for a job that you did to provoke those feelings of jealousy within you. And then once they've got you there, because you are more open to explaining your emotions, because you want to resolve any conflict, any misunderstanding, any disagreements, if you go and speak to them about this, a narcissist is never wrong. Therefore, it's not their fault that you're feeling jealous. To a narcissist, that's your fault for feeling jealous. So they're going to accuse you of being the jealous one, of being bitter, which sends you into a whole world of other thoughts and feelings as you question, am I being too jealous? Am I being too bitter? Am I being envious of that person? When you're not being envious of that person, because a narcissist is envious of people, they want to make you feel like you're the one that's envious of others, to squish you down, to stop you from expressing yourself. So the narcissist can project their feelings of jealousy over to you, so they can make you feel how they were feeling. So now the problem is yours and it's no longer theirs. And they feel smug because they're no longer feeling jealous because they've made you feel bad. They want to feel superior to you, and by feeling superior, they're going to make you feel inferior. Narcissistic people could be down to experiences they've had within their life. It could be down to the fact that they're very untrustworthy people. You can have people that do not go around hurting others. It is a choice that narcissistic people make. Criteria or not, they make the choice. When it comes to a narcissist, usually because they don't trust other people, most likely because somewhere in their subconscious programming, they know how they exploit people, they know how they treat people, because they have trust issues, they are going to do things such as cause intrigue. They're going to leave out bits of information so that you can't grasp the full story. They're going to be very secretive over their phone, but they're going to want to look at your phone. And because they're up to no good, it's going to provoke those instincts within you to the point where you might question them because you don't want to believe it to be true because you love and care about them. So you might go and ask them about something and they're going to turn it around onto you and say, you have trust issues. They might be having a full-blown on affair. You might have just walked along and they've left their phone up and the preview message is on, and you've seen that message, spotted that message and gone straight up to them with that message because you didn't suspect a thing, and say, what's all this about? And they're going to come at you with, why are you going through my things? Do you have trust issues? To deflect away from what they've done and straight on to you. And because you know morally that perhaps you shouldn't have read that message, even though the phone was just left and you just happened to glance, because you know morally you shouldn't have done that, you then question yourself and not them. And then they come at you with all those false promises of change just to confuse you even more. Because you care about them, you want to believe in them. And a narcissist will future fake to give you that false hope. They will breadcrumb you. They will give you little glimpses of hope that everything will be okay. And then they change the game on you. And when you're in that much emotional turmoil from the roller coaster of the ups and downs you are in with a narcissist, it's like you're stuck in a jungle where you cannot find your way out, and you're on the middle of a roller coaster and all the doors are locked. There's just no way to get out of there, because once they've fired one game at you, they fire another game at you and your emotions start going all over. And narcissistic people tend to be highly sensitive to criticism. They like to be perceived as whatever their ideal is, whatever their perfect is. If they want to be seen as the tough guy, they're not going to want you to tell people about something nice they did for you, because that questions their persona that they're trying to sell to people, even though they only did that nice thing for you to exploit you. If they're community orientated, that's their persona that they are trying to sell to other people. So if something happens that criticizes that narcissist persona, if you're dealing with a somatic narcissist and it's all about the looks, and somebody could just walk in that looks good, and the narcissist knows that person looks good, so they're going to have to go all out to put that person down. Or someone might compliment you, so a narcissist will go all out to put you down. A cerebral narcissist, who often believes real or perceived intelligence, they believe they know everything and they know better than all others. So you can have someone that is good at a subject and knows their limitations on other subjects and works hard on one, and knows more than the narcissist in that particular subject. Therefore, when they say something that the narcissist isn't aware of, the narcissist takes this as criticism, and they are going to seek then to invalidate the other person, to pull the other person down, to crush the other person, to make the other person feel inferior, to make the other person not feel enough, so that they can feel powerful, so that they can feel in control. And if it's somebody you care about and you're left questioning certain things they've said to you, if they've said you can't do something, or you're incapable of doing something, it's quite confusing with the narcissist, because they will say it in a way where they're seemingly trying to help you. So they'll say things like, it's only because I love you, I don't want you to embarrass yourself. And because you're aware of your emotions, you might try and speak about this with them and tell them how their words are making you feel. And they're going to come at you and accuse you of being too sensitive, or because they were feeling sensitive in the first place because something criticized them. So they then sought to punish you, to create those feelings of sensitivity within you, so that they could bring you down a peg or two, so they could feel better about themselves. Narcissists are incredibly envious people. So if they can't exploit something from you, they want to sabotage it for you. Yet they want to always take all the credit. So if you want to start a new hobby, a narcissist will probably tut and moan and put that hobby down any way they can. Yet if you go ahead and do the hobby, they're going to put you down for not being good enough. And if you work at it and build up your confidence and get good at it, We can all have that imposter syndrome when we start something new, and a narcissist is going to chip away at you. But if you work at it, a narcissist at some point will then come at you like it was their idea for you to do that, because they want to take the credit. They want the praise. When it comes to narcissistic people, they're always looking to win, and to win at all costs to you. A narcissist is going to leave information out, or they're going to tell you they're going somewhere but not tell you where they're going afterwards. And then when you ask them about this, they're going to accuse you of being the one that's overthinking. However, because a narcissist can get you to a point where you can't tell them, if you tell them about a special event coming up, you know they're going to be miserable and sabotage it at every given opportunity. So you might put off telling them, which then makes you feel like you've turned into the narcissistic one, because your defense mechanism has been turned on to protect yourself from their reactions. When their defense mechanism is turned on, they're going to provoke you into some form of reaction or some sort of emotion, so they can blame you. When your defense mechanism is turned on, you can find yourself treating them how they treat you in order to protect yourself. Narcissistic people are some of the most miserable people you can ever meet. They can put a mask on to hide this at times. However, when they're feeling miserable, when they're feeling sulky, they're going to accuse you. Why are you always so miserable? Why are you always so down? But they're going to provoke that feeling within you first. They're going to, if you've planned a nice day out, they're going to do all they can in that morning to spoil it for you. Any sort of boundaries you have, any sort of rules you have within the home, they're going to break every single one to try and get you going. You might be having a nice soak in the bath and they're just going to run in and chuck cold water on you. They might sleep in. They might just not be speaking to you first thing in the morning. They're going to do all they can to create that negative feeling within you. And once they've got you there, they're going to turn around and say, why are you always so miserable? Because they were feeling miserable, because whatever it was wasn't about them. They weren't getting the attention they felt they were entitled to. So they're going to provoke that misery within you and then accuse you of being miserable. And because you're feeling miserable, you're the one that's left questioning yourself and not their behaviour towards you. When it comes to calling a narcissist out, discussing some important issues with them, might be financial issues, it could be anything that normal everyday relationships, these things crop up and need discussing. Two people might disagree, however, because they care, they want to come to some form of agreement. Because a narcissist doesn't see certain things as their problem, they're going to turn around and say, well, I don't want to argue with you. Do we have to talk about this now? Or you always have to put a dampener on things to get at you before you even start the conversation. You have to pick your moments when dealing with a narcissistic person. When you need to discuss something that's important to you or the both of you, you have to pick up on their mood first. There's never a good time to approach a narcissist about something, but if you can approach them when they're in a good mood, you might get a little better communication from them. However, later down the line, they're still going to twist it. But when it comes to a narcissist, if they don't want to discuss something, they're going to provoke an almighty argument with you, and then they're going to turn around and say, told you I didn't want to argue with you. Why do you always have to start arguments? And because you're the one that needed to communicate with them, because you're the one that started the conversation, because an argument erupted, you're the one, again, that's left defending yourself to them. The same as narcissistic people, everything's all well and good when everything's going their way. As soon as things aren't going their way, all hell breaks loose when it comes to dealing with a narcissistic person. However, they're not going to take the blame for that. They're going to accuse you of being awkward. And because all hell's broken loose, you're the one that's left questioning yourself and not them. Things like boundaries, just having that respect for others. Narcissistic people don't have respect for other people's boundaries. Therefore, they're going to accuse you of being awkward to break down your boundary because they're awkward, because they don't want to recognise that that's who you are as a person. They want their own way. So they're going to do all they can to sabotage you while accusing you of being the awkward one. Which is when they use things such as, it's not all about you, because to a narcissist, it's all about themselves. And if you listen closely enough, sometimes when they're purchasing things or doing things, they can say, I was thinking about me. But we kind of miss that. They might just say it the once. We miss those little cues that a narcissist gives us on how they're feeling, because they're too busy provoking that feeling within us. However, when it comes to a narcissist, when they're going to accuse you of causing arguments, of being awkward, of being stubborn, of being selfish, and then they come at you and tell you it's not all about you, you're the one questioning if you're being awkward, stubborn or selfish, when it's actually the narcissist that's awkward, stubborn and selfish. But they're going to provoke that feeling within you. They're going to set the environment. They're going to ask you to do something at the most inconvenient time to accuse you of being selfish when you say no to them. They're going to ask you to do something that they know goes against your beliefs and your values. They're going to then accuse you of being too stubborn for not breaking those values to serve them. And then they're going to come at you and accuse you of making it all about you, because they're not being served by you how they want to be served by you. And it is all about you. It's all about them too. It's all about them, it's all about you, and it's about finding people who have that mutual respect for each other's values, that mutual respect for each other's beliefs, have that willingness to work through disagreements and conflicts, and walking away from people who don't respect your values, don't respect your beliefs, and are busy creating your problems, busy creating conflict. The ones who are always causing you issues to resolve, the ones who are always blaming you, so you're always taking responsibility, not just for your own feelings and your own behaviour, but also theirs. It's an excellent quality to take responsibility for our own behaviour and to take responsibility for our own feelings. However, we have to pass responsibility back to the rightful owner for theirs, not directly to a narcissist. They're going to take this as criticism and all their games are going to come out. But within our own minds, we're going to have to be, yes, I'm feeling jealous. Why am I feeling jealous? Because they've just gone and flirted with that person in front of me. Have they validated my feelings? No, they've completely invalidated them. It's not the kind of person I want to be around. I've got trust issues. When a narcissist says you've got trust issues, believe them. When you're around a narcissistic person, you're going to develop all sorts of trust issues and sensitivities and insecurities, because they are hell-bent on making you not feel enough so that they can feel better about themselves. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments. If you are looking for further understanding and help overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links will be in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. And remember, do not take other people's judgment of you personally. That is on them, not you.